When this eternal substance of my soul did live imprisoned in my wanton flesh, I was a courtier in the Spanish court. My name was Don Andrea. For there, in prime and pride of all my years, by duteous service and deserving love, in secret I possessed a worthy dame, which hight sweet Belle Imperia by name. But in the harvest of my summer joys, death's winter nipped the blossoms of my bliss, forcing divorce betwixt my love and me. For in the late conflict with Portingale, my valour drew me into danger's mouth, till life to death made passage through my wounds. To this effect, my passport straight was drawn, which brought me to the fair Elysian green. Here, finding Pluto with his Prosperine, I showed my passport humbled on my knee, whereat fair Prosperine began to smile, and begged that only she might give my doom. Forthwith, revenge, she rounded thee in thee, and bade thee lead me through the gates of horn, where dreams have passage in the silent night. No sooner had she spoke, but we were here, I wot not how, in twinkling of an eye.
Then know, Andrea, that thou art arrived where thou shalt see the author of thy death, Don Balthazar, the Prince of Portingale, deprived of life by Bella Imperia. Here sit we down to see the mystery, and serve for chorus in this tragedy.
Now say, Lord General, how fares our camp? Speak, man, hath fortune give us victory?
Victory, my liege, and that with little loss.
But, General, unfold in brief discourse your form of battle and your war's success.
Where Spain and Portingale do jointly knit their frontiers, leaning on each other's bound, there met our armies in their proud array. Both furnished well, both full of hope and fear, both menacing alike with daring shows, both raising dreadful clamours to the sky that valleys, hills, and rivers made rebound, and heaven itself was frighted with the sound. Both battles join and fall to handy blows. Here falls a body cindered from his head. There legs and arms lie bleeding o'er the grass, mingled with weapons and unbowed steeds. In all this turmoil, 3 long hours and more, the victory to neither part inclined, till Don Andrea, with his brave lanceers, in their main battle made so great a breach, that half dismayed the multitude retired. But Balthazar, the Portingale's young prince, brought rescue and encouraged them to stay. Here hence the fight was eagerly renewed, and in that conflict was Andrea slain. Yet while the prince, insulting over him, breathed out proud vaunts, sounding to our reproach. Friendship and hardy valour joined in one, pricked forth Horatio, our knight marshal's son, to challenge forth the prince in single fight. Not long between these twain the fight endured, but straight the prince was beaten from his horse, and forced to yield him prisoner to his foe. When he was taken, all the rest they fled.
But now, Knight Marshal, frolic with thy king, for 'tis thy son that wins this battle's prize.
Long may he live to serve my sovereign liege, and soon decay, unless he serve my liege.
Nor thou nor he shall die without reward. What means the warning of this trumpet sound?
This tells me that your grace's men of war, such as war's fortune hath reserved from death, come marching on towards your royal seat to show themselves before your majesty.
A gladsome sight. I long to see them here. Was that the warlike Prince of Portingale that by our nephew was in triumph led?
It was, my liege, the Prince of Portingale.
But what was he that on the other side held him by the arm as partner of the prize?
That was my son, my gracious sovereign, of whom, though from his tender infancy my loving thoughts did never hope but well, he never pleased his father's eyes till now, nor filled my heart with overcloying joys.
Bring hither the young Prince of Portingale, the rest march on. But ere they be dismissed, we will bestow on every soldier 2 ducats, and on every leader 10, that they may know our largesse welcomes them. Welcome, Don Balthazar. Welcome, nephew. And thou, Horatio, thou art welcome too. Young prince, although thy father's hard misdeeds in keeping back the tribute that he owes deserve but evil measure at our hands, yet shalt thou know that Spain is honourable.
The trespass that my father made in peace is now controlled by fortune of the wars.
Aye, Balthazar, if he observe this truce, our peace will grow the stronger for these wars. Meanwhile, live thou, though not in liberty, yet free from bearing any servile yoke. For in our hearing thy deserts were great, and in our sight thyself art gracious.
And I shall study to deserve this grace.
But tell me, for their holding makes me doubt, to which of these twain art thou prisoner?
To me, my liege.
To me, my sovereign.
This hand first took his courser by the reins.
But first my lance did put him from his horse.
I seized his weapon and enjoyed it first.
But first I forced him lay his weapon down.
Let go his arm upon our privilege. Say, worthy prince, to whether didst thou yield?
To him in courtesy, to this perforce. He spake me fair, this other gave me strokes. He promised life, this other threatened death. He won my love, this other conquered me. And truth to say, I yield myself to both.
But that I know your grace for just and wise, my tongue should plead for young Horatio's right.
Content thee, Marshal, thou shalt have no wrong, and for thy sake thy son shall want no right. Will both abide the censure of my doom?
I crave no better than your grace awards.
Nor I, although I sit beside my right.
Then, by my judgment, thus your strife shall end. You both deserve, and both shall have reward. Nephew, thou took'st his weapon and his horse. His weapon and his horse are thy reward. Horatio, thou didst force him first to yield. His ransom, therefore, is thy valour's fee. Appoint the sum as you shall both agree. But, nephew, thou shalt have the prince in guard, for thine estate best fitteth such a guest.
My liege,
Horatio's house was small for all his train. How likes Don Balthazar of this device?
Right well, my liege. If this proviso were that Don Horatio bear us company, whom I admire and love for chivalry.
Horatio, leave him not that loves thee so. Now let us hence to see our soldiers paid, and feast our prisoner as our friendly guest.
Signor Horatio, this is the place and hour wherein I must entreat thee to relate the circumstance of Don Andrea's death, who living was my garland's sweet flower, and in his death hath buried my delights.
When both our armies were enjoined in fight, your worthy chevalier amidst the thickst was at the last by young Don Balthazar encountered hand to hand. Their fight was long, but wrathful Nemesis, that wicked power, envying at Andrea's praise and worth, cut short his life to end his praise and worth. She herself, disguised in armour's mask, brought in a fresh supply of halberdiers, which paunched his horse and dinged him to the ground. Then young Don Balthazar, with ruthless rage, taking advantage of his foe's distress, did finish what his halberdiers begun, and left not till Andrea's life was done. Then, though too late, incensed with just remorse, I with my band set forth against the prince, and brought him prisoner from his halberdiers.
Would thou had slain him that so slew my love. But then was Don Andrea's carcass lost?
No, that was it for which I chiefly strove. Nor stepped I back till I recovered him. I took him up, and wound him in mine arms, and welding him unto my private tent, there laid him down, and dewed him with my tears. This scarf I plucked from off his lifeless arm, and wear it in remembrance of my friend.
I know the scarf. Would he had kept it still, and worn it for his bel Imperia's sake, for 'twas my favour at his last depart. But now wear thou it both for him and me, for after him thou hast deserved it best. But for thy kindness in his life and death, be sure while bel Imperia's life endures, she will be Don Horatio's thankful friend.
And, madam, Don Horatio will not slack humbly to serve fair bel Imperia. But now if your good liking stand thereto, I'll crave your pardon to go seek the prince, for so the duke your father gave me charge.
I go, Horatio. Leave me here alone, for solitude best fits my cheerless mood. Yet what avails to wail Andrea's death, from whence Horatio proves my second love? Had he not loved Andrea as he did, he could not sit in Bel Imperia's thoughts. But how can love find harbour in my breast till I revenge the death of my beloved? I'll love Horatio, my Andrea's friend, the more to spite the prince that wrought his end.
Sister, what means this melancholy walk?
That for a while I wish no company.
But here the prince is come to visit you.
That argues that he lives in liberty.
No, madam, but in pleasing servitude.
Your prison, then, belike, is your conceit.
Aye, by conceit my freedom is enthralled.
Then with conceit enlarge yourself again.
What if conceit have laid my heart to gauge?
Pay that you borrowed and recover it.
I die if it return from whence it lies.
A heartless man and live. A miracle.
Aye, lady, love can work such miracles.
Tush, tush, my lord. Let go these ambages, and in plain terms acquaint her with your love.
What boots complaint when there's no remedy?
Yes, to your gracious self must I complain, in whose fair answer lies my remedy, on whose perfection all my thoughts attend, on whose aspect mine eyes find beauty's bower, in whose translucent breast my heart is lodged.
Alas, my lord, these are but words of course, and but devised to drive me from this place.
Madam, your glove.
Thanks, good Horatio. Take it for thy pains.
Signor Horatio stooped in happy time.
I reaped more grace than I deserved or hoped.
My lord, be not dismayed for what is past. You know that women oft are humorous. These clouds will overblow with little wind. Let me alone. I'll scatter them myself.
The king, my lords, is coming hither straight to feast the Portingale ambassador. Things were in readiness before I came.
Then here it fits us to attend the king, to welcome hither our ambassador, and learn my father and my country's health.
Come we for this from depth of underground to see him feast that gave me my death's wound. These pleasant sights are sorrow to my soul, nothing but league and love and banqueting.
Be still, Andrea. Ere we go from hence, I'll turn their friendship into fell despite, their love to mortal hate, their day to night, their hope into despair, their peace to war, their joys to pain, their bliss to misery.
My lord, though Bel Imperia seem thus coy, let reason hold you in your wonted joy. In time the savage bull sustains the yoke. In time all haggard hawks will stoop to lure. In time small wedges cleave the hardest oak. In time the flint is pierced with softest shower. And she, in time, will fall from her disdain, and rue the sufferance of your friendly pain.
No, she is wilder and more hard withal than beast or bird or tree or stony wall. But wherefore blot I Bel Imperia's name? It is my fault, not she, that merits blame. Yet might she love me for my valiancy. Aye, but that's slandered by captivity. Yet might she love me to content her sire. Aye, but her reason masters his desire. Yet might she love me as her brother's friend. Aye, but her hopes aim at some other end. Yet might she love me as her beauty's thrall. Aye, but I fear she cannot love at all.
My lord, for my sake leave these ecstasies, and doubt not but we'll find some remedy. Some cause there is that lets you not be loved. First that must needs be known, and then removed. What if my sister loves some other knight?
My summer's day will turn to winter's night.
I have already found a stratagem to sound the bottom of this doubtful theme. Ho! Pedringano!
Hath your lordship any service to command me?
Aye, Pedringano, service of import.
Whate'er it be your lordship shall demand.
Then, Pedringano, this is my demand. Whom loves my sister, Belle Imperia? For she reposeth all her trust in thee.
Alas, my lord, since Don Andrea's death, I have no credit with her as before, and therefore know not if she love or no.
Nay, if thou dally, then I am thy foe, and fear shall force what friendship cannot win.
If Madame Belle Imperia be in love...
What, villain? Ifs and ands?
Oh, stay, my lord. She loves Horatio.
What? Don Horatio? Our Knight Marshal's son?
Even him, my lord.
Now, say but how knowest thou he is her love, and thou shalt find me kind and liberal.
She sent him letters, which myself perused, full fraught with lines and arguments of love, preferring him before Prince Balthazar.
Be watchful when and where these lovers meet, and give me notice in some secret sort.
I will, my lord.
Then shalt thou find that I am liberal. Go and attend her, as thy custom is, lest absence make her think thou dost amiss. Why so? How likes Prince Balthazar this stratagem?
Both well and ill. It makes me glad and sad. Glad that I know the hinder of my love. Sad that I fear she hates me whom I love. Glad that I know on whom to be revenged. Sad that she'll fly me if I take revenge. Yet must I take revenge or die myself, for love resisted grows impatient. I think Horatio be my destined plague. But in his fall I'll tempt the destinies, and either lose my life or win my love.
Now, madam, since by favour of your love our hidden smoke is turned to open flame, thus in the midst of love's fair blandishments, why show you sign of inward languishments?
O sleep, mine eyes, see now my love profaned. Be deaf my ears, hear not my discontent. Die, heart, another joy is what thou deservest.
My heart, sweet friend, is like a ship at sea. She wisheth port, where riding all at ease she may repair what stormy times have worn, and leaning on the shore may sing with joy that pleasure follows pain, and bliss annoy. Possession of thy love is the only port wherein my heart with fears and hopes long tossed each hour doth wish and long to make resort, there to repair the joys that it hath lost, and sitting safe to sing in Cupid's choir that sweetest bliss is crown of love's desire.
Watch still mine eyes to see this love disjoined. Hear still mine ears to hear them both lament. Live, heart, to joy at fond Horatio's fall.
Why stands Horatio speechless all this while?
The less I speak, the more I meditate.
But whereon dost thou chiefly meditate?
On dangers past, and pleasures to ensue.
On pleasures past and dangers to ensue.
What dangers and what pleasures dost thou view?
Dangers of war, and pleasures of our love.
Dangers of death, but pleasures none at all.
Let dangers go. Thy war shall be with me, but such a war as breaks no bond of peace. Speak thou fair words, I'll cross them with fair words. Send thou sweet looks, I'll meet them with sweet looks. Write loving lines, I'll answer loving lines. Give me a kiss, I'll countercheck thy kiss. Be this our warring peace, or peaceful war.
But, gracious madam, then appoint the field where trial of this war shall first be made.
Ambitious villain, how his boldness grows!
Then be thy father's pleasant bower the field, where first we vow a mutual amity. There none shall hear us but the harmless birds. Haply the gentle nightingale shall carol us asleep ere we beware, and singing with the prickle at her breast, tell our delight and mirthful dalliance. Till then each hour will seem a year or more.
But, honey sweet and honourable love, return we now into your father's sight. Dangerous suspicion waits on our delight.
Aye, danger mixed with jealous despite shall send thy soul into eternal night.
Brother of Castile, to the prince's love, what says your daughter, Belimperia?
Although she coy it, as becomes her kind, yet herein shall she follow my advice, which is to love him, or forego my love.
Then, Lord Ambassador Portingale, advise thy king to make this marriage up, for strengthening of our late confirmed league. I know no better means to make us friends.
I'll make the motion to my sovereign liege, and work it, if my counsel may prevail.
Do so, my lord, and if he give consent, I hope his presence here will honour us in celebration of the nuptial day.
Farewell, my lord of Castile, and the rest.
Now, brother, you must take some little pains to win fair Belimperia from her will. The prince is amiable and loves her well. If she neglect him and forego his love, she both will wrong her own estate and ours. Endeavour you to win your daughter's thought. If she give back, all this will come to naught.
Now that the night begins with sable wings to overcloud the brightness of the sun, and that in darkness pleasures may be done, come, Belimperia, let us to the bower, and there in safety pass a pleasant hour.
I follow thee, my love, and will not back, although my fainting heart controls my soul.
Why? Make you doubt of Pedrangano's faith?
No, he is as trusty as my second self. Go, Pedringano, watch without the gate, and let us know if any make approach.
Instead of watching, I'll deserve more gold by fetching Don Lorenzo to this match.
What means, my love?
I know not what myself, and yet my heart foretells me some mischance.
Sweet, say not so. Fair fortune is our friend, and heavens have shut up day to please us. The stars, thou seest, hold back their twinkling shine, and Luna hides herself to pleasure us.
Thou hast prevailed. I'll conquer my misdoubt, and in thy love and counsel drown my fear. I fear no more. Love now is all my thoughts. Why sit we not? For pleasure asketh ease.
Hark, madam, how the birds record by night for joy that Belimperia sits in sight.
No, Cupid counterfeits the nightingale to frame sweet music to Horatio's tale.
If Cupid sing, then Venus is not far. Aye, thou art Venus, or some fairer star.
If I be Venus, thou must needs be Mars, and where Mars reigneth, there must needs be wars.
Then thus begin our wars. Put forth thy hand, that it may combat with my ruder hand.
Set forth thy foot to try the push of mine.
But first my looks shall combat against thine.
Then ward thyself, I dart this kiss at thee.
Thus I retort the dart thou threwest at me.
Nay then, to gain the glory of the field, my twining arms shall yoke and make thee yield.
Nay then, my arms are large and strong withal. Thus elms by vines are compassed till they fall.
Oh, let me go, for in my troubled eyes now mayst thou read that life in passion dies.
Stay a while, and I will die with thee. So shalt thou yield, and yet have conquered me.
Who's there? Pedringano? We are betrayed!
My lord, away with her! Take her aside! No. Oh, sir, forbear! Your valour's already tried! Quickly dispatch my masters! Hang him up!
Will you murder me?
Aye, thus, and thus! These are the fruits of love!
Oh, save his life, and let me die for him! Oh, save him, brother, save him, Balthazar! I loved Horatio, but he loved not me!
But Balthazar loves Bel-Imperial! Although his life was still ambitious proud, yet is he at the highest, now he's dead!
Help, Hieronymo! Help!
Can't stop her mouth! Away with her!
What outcries pluck me from my naked bed and chill my throbbing heart with trembling fear? Who calls, Hieronymo? Speak, here I am! I did not slumber, therefore 'twas no dream. No, it was some woman cried for help. And here, within this garden, did she cry. But stay, what murderous spectacle is this? A man hanged up and all the murderers gone, and in my bower to lay the guilt on me. This place was made for pleasure, not for death. I'll cut him down. These garments that he wears, I oft have seen. Alas, it is Horatio, my sweet son. Oh, no, but he that whilom was my son. Oh, was it thou that callest me from my bed? Oh, speak, if any spark of life remain. I am the father who has slain my son. What savage monster not of humankind hath here been glutted with thy harmless blood, and left thy bloody corpse dishonoured here for me amidst his dark and dreadful shades to drown thee with an ocean of my tears? Oh, heavens, why made you night to cover sin? By day this deed of darkness had not been. O earth, why didst thou not in time devour the vile profaner of this sacred bower? Oh, poor Horatio, what hadst thou misdone to lease thy life ere life was new begun? Oh, wicked butcher, whosoe'er thou wert, how could thou strangle virtue and desert? Oh, me most wretched, that have lost my joy in leasing my Horatio, my sweet boy.
My husband's absence makes my heart to throb. Hieronymo?
Here, Isabella, help me to lament, for sighs are stopped, and all my tears are spent.
What world of grief! Oh, my son, Horatio. Oh, where's the author of this endless woe?
To know the author was some ease of grief, for in revenge my heart would find relief.
Then is he gone? And isn't my son gone too? Oh, gush out tears, fountains and floods of tears, blow sighs, and raise an everlasting storm. For outrage, thou cursed wretchedness.
sweet, lovely rose, ill-plucked before thy time. Fair, worthy son, not conquered, but betrayed. I'll kiss thee now, for words with tears a stay.
O thou close up the glasses of his sight. For once, these eyes were only my delight.
Seest thou this handkerchief, besmeared with blood? It shall not from me till I take revenge. Seest thou these wounds that yet are bleeding fresh? I'll not entomb them till I have revenged. Then will I joy amidst my discontent. Till then, my sorrow never shall be spent.
Heaven's just. Murder cannot be hid. Time is the author both of truth and right. And time will bring this treachery to light.
Meanwhile, good Isabella, cease thy plaints, or at the least, dissemble them a while. So shall we sooner find the practice out, and learn by whom all this was brought about. Come, Isabel, now let us take him up, and bear him in from out this cursed place.
Brought'st thou me hither to increase my pain? I look that Balthazar should have been slain, but 'tis my friend Horatio that is slain, and they abuse fair Belle Imperia, on whom I doted more than all the world, because she loved me more than all the world.
Thou talk'st of harvest when the corn is green. The end is crown of every work well done. The sickle comes not till the corn be ripe.
No eyes, but fountains fraught with tears. Oh, life! No life, but lively form of death. Oh, world! No world, but mass of public wrongs, confused and filled with murder and misdeeds. Oh, sacred heavens! If this unhallowed deed, if this inhuman, barbarous attempt, if this incomparable murder thus of mine, but now no more, my son, shall unrevealed and unrevenged pass, how should we term your dealings to be just, if you unjustly deal with those that in your justice trust? The night, sad secretary to my moans, with direful visions wakes my vexed soul, and with the wounds of my distressful son solicits me for notice of his death. The ugly fiends do sally forth of hell, and frame my steps to unfrequented paths, and fear my heart with fierce, inflamed thoughts. The cloudy day my discontents records, early begins to register my dreams, and drives me forth to seek the murderer. Eyes, life, world, heavens, hell, night and day. See, search, show, send some man, some mean that may... What's here? A letter. Oh, tush, it is not so. A letter written to Hieronymo. For want of ink, receive this bloody writ. Me hath my hapless brother hid from thee. Revenge thyself on Balthazar and him, for these were they that murdered thy son. Hieronymo, revenge Horatio's death, and better fare than Belle Imperia doth. What means this unexpected miracle? My son slain by Lorenzo and the prince. What cause had they, Horatio, to malign? Or what might move thee, Belle Imperia, to accuse thy brother, had he been the mean? Hieronymo, beware. Thou art betrayed, and to entrap thy life this train is laid. Advise thee, therefore, Be not credulous. This is devised to endanger thee, that thou by this Lorenzo should accuse, and he, for thy dishonour done, should draw thy life in question and thy name in hate. Dear was the life of my beloved son, and of his death behoves me be revenged. Then hazard not thine own, Hieronymo, but live to effect the resolution. I therefore will by circumstances try what I can gather to confirm this writ.
Now, Petrigano. Now, Hieronymo.
Where's thy lady?
I know not. Here's my lord.
How now? Who's this, Hieronymo?
Oh, my lord.
He asketh for my lady Belle Imperia.
What to do, Hieronymo? The Duke, my father, hath on some disgrace a while removed her hence.
Oh.
But if be aught I may inform her of, tell me, Hieronymo, and I'll let her know it.
Nay, my lord, I thank you. It shall not need. I had a suit unto her, but too late, and her disgrace makes me unfortunate.
Why so, Hieronymo, use me?
Oh, no, my lord, I dare not. It must not be. I humbly thank your lordship.
Why then, farewell.
My grief no heart, my thoughts no tongue can tell.
Come hither, Pedringano. Seest thou this?
My lord, I see it, and I suspect it.
This is that damned villain Cerberine that hath, I fear, revealed Horatio's death. I know his humour, and therewith repent that e'er I used him in this enterprise. But, Pedringano, to prevent the worst, and 'cause I know thee secret as my soul, here for thy further satisfaction, take thou this, and hearken to me. Thus it is devised. This night thou must, and prithee so resolve, meet Cerberine at St. Luigi's Park. There take thy stand, and see thou strike him sure. For die he must, if we do mean to live.
It shall be done, my lord. It shall be done. And I'll go arm myself to meet him there.
When things shall alter, as I hope they will, then shalt thou mount for this. Thou knowest my mind. Now, to confirm the complot thou hast cast of all these practices, I'll spread the watch, strongly to guard the place where Pedringano this night shall murder hapless Cerberine. Thus must we work that will avoid distrust. Thus must we practice to prevent mishap, and thus one ill another must expulse. They that for coin their souls endangered, to save my life, for coin shall venture theirs. And better 'tis that base companions die, than by their life to hazard our good haps. I'll trust myself. Myself shall be my friend. Slaves are ordained to no other end.
Now, Pedringano, bid thy pistol hold, and hold on, fortune. Once more favour me. Give but success to mine attempting spirit, and let me shift for taking of mine aim. Here is the gold. This is the gold proposed. It is no dream that I adventure for.
Here, Cerberine, attend and stay thy pace, for here did Don Lorenzo's page appoint that thou by his command shouldst meet with him.
Here comes the bird that I must seize upon. Now, Pedringano, or never. Play the man.
I wonder that his lordship stays so long, or wherefore should he send for me so late?
For this, Cerberine, and thou shalt have... So, there he lies. My promise is performed.
Hark, gentlemen, this is a pistol shot.
And here's one slain. Stay, the murderer! Now, but the sorrows of souls in hell! Who first lays hand on me, I'll be his priest!
Sirrah, confess, and therein play the priest. Why hast thou thus unkindly killed the man?
Why, because he walked abroad so late.
Sir, you had been better kept your bed.
Come to the marshals with the murderer.
Auntie Hieronymus, help me to bring the murdered body with us too.
Hieronymo, carry me before whom you will. Whate'er he be, I'll answer him and you. And do your worst, for I defy you all.
How now, my lord? What makes you rise so soon?
Fear of preventing our mishaps too late.
Why, tell me, Don Lorenzo. Tell me, man, if aught concerns our honour and your own.
Nor you nor me, my lord, but both in one. For I suspect, and the presumption's great, that by those base confederates in our fault touching the death of Don Horatio, we are betrayed to old Hieronymo.
Betrayed, Lorenzo? Such it cannot be.
A guilty conscience, urged with the thought of former evils, easily cannot err. I am persuaded, and dissuade me not, that all's revealed to Hieronymo, and therefore know that I have cast it thus. But here's the page. How now, what news with thee?
My lord, Sir Berine is slain.
Who? Sir Berine, my man?
Your Highness' man, my lord.
Speak, page. Who murdered him?
He that is apprehended for the fact.
Who?
Pedringano.
Hath Pedringano murdered Sir Berine?
Assure thee, Don Lorenzo, he shall die. Meanwhile, I'll haste the martial sessions. For die he shall for this his damned deed.
Why so? This fits our former policy, and thus experience bids the wise to deal. I lay the plot, he prosecutes the point. I set the trap, he breaks the worthless twigs, and sees not that wherewith the bird was limed. He runs to kill whom I have holp to catch, and no man knows it was my reaching fatch. Boy?
I have a letter to your lordship.
From whence?
From Pedringano, that's imprisoned.
So he is in prison, then?
Aye, my good lord.
What would he with us? He writes us here to stand good lord and help him in distress. Tell him I have his letters, know his mind, and what we may, let him assure him of. Boy, go, convey this purse to Pedringano. Thou knowest the prison, closely give it him. Bid him be merry still, but secret. Bid him not doubt of his delivery. Tell him his pardon is already signed. Show him this box. Tell him his pardon's in it, but open it not, and if thou lovest thy life, he shall not want while Don Lorenzo lives. Away.
I go, my lord. I run.
But, sirrah, see that this be cleanly done. Now stands our fortune on a tickle point, and now or never ends Lorenzo's doubts. One only thing is unaffected yet, and that's to see the executioner.
My master hath forbidden me to look in this box, and by my troth, 'tis likely if he had not warned me, I should not have had so much idle time. But that which is most forbidden, that will I soonest attempt. So. By my bare honesty, here's nothing but the bare empty box. Were it not a sin against secrecy, I would say it were a piece of gentlemanlike knavery. I must go to Pedringano and tell him his pardon is in this box. Now, I would have sworn it had I not seen the contrary. I cannot choose but smile to think how the villain will flout the gallows, scorn the audience, and descant on the hangman, and all presuming of his pardon from hence. Wilt not be an odd jest for me to stand and grace every jest he makes, knocking on this box, as who would say, "Mock on, here's thy warrant." It's not a scurvy jest that a man should jest himself to death.
Thus must we toil in other men's extremes that know not how to remedy our own, and do them justice when unjustly we, for all our wrongs, can compass no redress. But shall I never live to see the day that I may come by justice of the heavens to know the cause that may my cares allay? This toils my body, this consumeth age, that only I to all men just must be, and neither gods nor men be just to me.
Stand forth, thou monster.
murderer of men, and here for satisfaction of the world, confess thy folly and repent thy fault. For there's thy place of execution.
This is short work. Well, to your marshalship, first I confess, nor fear I death therefore. I am the man. 'Twas I slew Cerberine. But, sir, then you think this shall be the place where we shall satisfy you for this gear?
Aye, Pedrigano.
Now, I think not, sir.
Peace, impudent, for thou shalt find it so. For blood with blood shall, while I sit as judge, be satisfied and the law discharged. And though myself cannot receive the like, yet will I see that others have their right. Dispatch! The fault's approved and confessed, and by our law he is condemned to die.
Come on, sir. Are you ready?
To do what, my fine officious knave?
To go to this gear.
Oh, sir, you are too forward. Thou wouldst fain furnish me with a halter to disfurnish me of my habit. So I should go out of this gear, my raiment, into that gear, the rope.
Come, sir.
So then, I must up.
No remedy.
Yes, but there shall be for my coming down.
Faith, you have reason, for I am like to break your young neck.
Sirrah, dost see yonder boy with the box in his hand?
What, he that raps it with his knuckle?
Aye, that companion.
I know him not, but what of him?
What hath he in his box, as thou thinkst?
Faith, I cannot tell, nor I care not greatly. Methinks you should rather hearken to your soul's health.
Why, Sirrah Hangman, I take it that is good for the body is likewise good for the soul. And it may be in that box is balm for both.
I have not seen a wretch so impudent. Oh, monstrous times where murder sets so light, and where the soul that should be shrined in heaven solely delights in interdicted things. Murder! Oh, bloody monster! God forbid faults so foul should escape unpunished. Dispatch! And see this execution done. This makes me to remember thee, my son.
Nay, soft, no haste.
Why? Wherefore stay you? Have you hope of life?
Oh, aye, aye.
As how?
Why, rascal, by my pardon from the king.
Stand you on that? Then you shall off with this.
Where shall I run to breathe abroad my woes whose weight hath wearied the earth? For mine exclaims that have surcharged the air with ceaseless plaints for my deceased son. The blustering winds, conspiring with my words, at my laments have moved the leafless trees, disrobed the meadows of their flowered green, made mountains marsh with springtides of my tears, and broken through the brazen gates of hell. Yet still tormented is my tortured soul, with broken sighs and restless passions, that winged mount and hovering in the air, beat at the windows of the brightest heavens, soliciting for justice and revenge. But they are placed in those imperial heights, where, countermured with walls of diamond, I find the place impregnable, and they resist my woes, and give my words no way.
Oh, Lord, sir. God bless you, sir. The man, sir. Peter Darder, sir. He that was so full of merry conceits.
Well, what of him?
Oh, Lord, sir. He went the wrong way. The fellow had a fair commission to the contrary. Sir, here is his passport. I pray you, sir. We have done the wrong thing.
Warrant thee, give it me. My lord, I writ as mine extremes required, that you would labour my delivery. If you neglect, my life is desperate, and in my death I shall reveal the truth. You know, my lord, I slew him for your sake, and as confederate with the prince and you, won by rewards and hopeful promises, I hope to murder Don Horatio too. Hope ye to murder mine Horatio? And actors in the accursed tragedy was thou, Lorenzo, Balthazar, and thou, of whom my son deserved so well? What have I heard? What have mine eyes beheld? Oh, sacred heavens, may it come to pass that such a monstrous and detested deed, so closely smothered and so long concealed, shall thus by this be venged or revealed. Now see I what I durst not then suspect, that Bel Imperia's letter was not feigned. Oh, false Lorenzo, are these thy flattering looks? Is this the honour that thou didst my son? And Balthazar, bane to thy soul and me, was this the ransom he reserved thee for? Woe to the cause of these constrained wars! Woe to thy baseness and captivity! Woe to thy birth, thy body, and thy soul, thy cursed father, and thy conquered self! But wherefore waste I mine unfruitful words, when naught but blood will satisfy my woes? I will go plainly to my lord the king, and cry aloud for justice through the court, wearing the flints with these my withered feet, and either purchase justice by entreats, or tire them all with my revenging threats.
Boy, talk no further. Thus far things go well. Thou art assured that thou sawest him dead.
Or else, my lord, I live not.
That's enough. As for his resolution in his end, leave that to him with whom he sojourns now. Here, take my ring, and give it Christophil, and bid him let my sister be enlarged, and bring her hither straight. This that I did was for a policy, to smooth and keep the murder secret, which, as a 9 days' wonder being o'erblown, my gentle sister will I now enlarge.
And time, Lorenzo, for my lord the Marshal, you heard, inquired for her yesternight.
Why, and my lord, I hope you heard me say sufficient reason why she kept away? But that's all one. My lord, you love her?
Aye.
Then, in your love, beware. Deal cunningly. Salve all suspicions. Only sooth me up, and if she hap to stand on terms with us as for her sweetheart and concealment so, jest with her gently. Under feigned jest are things concealed that else would breed unrest. But here she comes. Now, sister.
Sister? No. Thou art no brother, but an enemy. Else wouldst thou not have used thy sister so, first to affright me with thy weapons drawn, and with extremes abuse my company, and then to hurry me like whirlwind's rage amidst a crew of thy confederates, and clap me up where none might come at me, nor I at any to reveal my wrongs. What madding fury did possess thy wits? Or wherein is that I offended thee?
Advise you better, Bel Imperia, for I have done you no disparagement. Unless by more discretion than deserved I sought to save your honour and mine own.
Mine honour? Why, Lorenzo, wherein is that I neglect my reputation so, as you or any need to rescue it?
His Highness and my father were resolved to come confer with old Hieronymo concerning certain matters of estate that by the Viceroy was determined.
And wherein was mine honour touched in that?
Have patience, Bel Imperia, hear the rest.
Me, next in sight, as messenger they sent to give him notice that they were so nigh. Now, when I came, consorted with the prince, and unexpected in an arbour there found Bel Imperia with Horatio.
How then?
Why then, remembering that old disgrace which you for Don Andrea had endured, and now were likely longer to sustain by being found so meanly accompanied, thought rather, for I knew no readier mean, to thrust Horatio forth my father's way.
And carry you obscurely somewhere else, lest that his highness should have found you there.
E'en so, my lord. And you are witness that this is true which he entreateth of? You, gentle brother, forged this for my sake, and you, my lord, were made his instrument. A work of worth, worthy the noting too.
But what's the cause that you concealed me since?
Your melancholy, sister, since the news of your first favourite Don Andrea's death. My father's old wrath hath exasperated.
And better was't for you, being in disgrace, to absent yourself and give his fury place.
But, Bellimperia, see the gentle prince, look on thy love. Behold young Balthazar, whose passions by thy presence are increased, and in whose melancholy thou mayst see thy hate, his love, thy flight, his following thee.
Brother, you are become an orator, I know not I by what experience, too politic for me, past all compare since last I saw you. But content yourself. The prince is meditating higher things.
'Tis of thy beauty, then, that conquers kings. Of those thy tresses Ariadne's twines, wherewith my liberty thou hast surprised. Of that thine ivory front my sorrows map, wherein I see no haven to rest my hope.
To love and fear, and both at once, my lord, in my conceit are things of more import than women's wits are to be busied with.
'Tis I that love.
Whom?
Bellimperia.
But I that fear.
Whom?
Bellimperia.
Fear yourself?
I, brother.
How?
As those that what they love are loath and feared to lose.
Then, fair, let Balthazar your keeper be.
No. Balthazar doth fear as well as we.
What's a son? A thing begot within a pair of minutes, thereabout. A lump bred up in darkness, and doth serve to ballast these light creatures we call women, and at 9 months' end creeps forth to light. What is there yet in a son to make a father dote, rave, or run mad? For being born, it pouts, cries, and breeds teeth. What is there yet in a son? He must be fed, be taught to go and speak. Aye, or yet, why might not a man love a calf as well, or melt in passion o'er a frisking kid? As for a son, well, methinks a young bacon or a fine little smooth horse colt should move a man as much as doth a son. For one of these in very little time will grow to some good use, whereas a son, the more he grows in stature and in years, the more unsquared, unbevelled he appears, reckons his parents among the rank of fools, strikes care upon their heads with his mad riots, makes them look old before they meet with age. This is a son. And what a loss were this, considered truly. Oh, but my Horatio grew out of reach of these insatiate humours. He loved his loving parents. He was my comfort and his mother's joy, the very arm that did hold up our house. Our hopes were stored up in him. None but a damned murderer could hate him. He had not seen the back of 19 year when his strong arm unhorsed the proud Prince Balthazar, and his great mind, too full of honour, took him unto mercy. That valiant but ignoble Portingale. Well, heaven is heaven still, and there is nemesis and furies and things called whips, and they sometimes do meet with murderers. They do not always escape. That's some comfort. Aye, and then time steals on, and steals, till violence leaps forth like thunder wrapped in a ball of fire, and so doth bring confusion to them all.
Pray you, which is the next way to my lord the Duke's?
the next way from me.
To his house, we mean.
Oh, hard by. It is yon house that you may see.
You could not tell us if his son were there?
Who, my lord Lorenzo?
Aye, sir.
Oh, forbear. But if you be importunate to know the way to him and where to find him out, then list to me, and I'll resolve your doubt. There is a path upon your left-hand side that leadeth from a guilty conscience unto a forest of distrust and fear, a darksome place and dangerous to pass. There shall you meet with melancholy thoughts, whose baleful humours, if you but uphold, they will conduct you to despair and death, whose rocky cliffs, when you have once beheld, within a huge dale of lasting night, kindle with the world's iniquities, and cast up filthy and detested fumes. Not far from thence, where murderers have built a habitation for their cursed souls, there, in a brazen cauldron, fixed by Jove, in his fell wrath, upon a sulphur flame, yourselves shall find Lorenzo bathing him in boiling lead and blood of innocence. Farewell! Good. Down by the dale that flows with purple gore standeth a fiery tower. There sits a judge upon a seat of steel and molten brass, and twixt his teeth he holds a firebrand that leads unto the lake where hell doth stand. Away, Hieronymo, to him be gone. He'll do thee justice for Horatio's death. Turn down this path, thou shalt be with him straight. Or this, and then thou needst not take thy breath. This way, or that way. Soft and fair, not so. For if I hang or kill myself, let's know, who will revenge Horatio's murder then? No, fie, no! Pardon me, I'll be with thee to bring... And Lorenzo... Here's the king. Nay, stay. And here, here. There goes the hair away.
Now show, Ambassador, what our Viceroy says. Hath he received the articles we sent?
Justice! Oh, justice to Hieronymo!
Seest thou not the king is busy?
Oh, is he so?
Who is he that interrupts our business?
Not I. Hieronymo, beware. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Renowned king, he hath received and read thy kingly proffers and thy promised league. First, for the marriage of his princely son with Belle Imperia, thy beloved niece, the news are more delightful to his soul than myrrh or incense to the offended heavens. In person, therefore, will he come himself to see the marriage rite solemnized. There will he give his crown to Balthazar and make a queen of Belle Imperia. Now last, dread lord, here hath his highness sent, although he send not that his son return, his ransom due to Don Horatio.
Horatio? Who calls Horatio?
Well remembered, thank his majesty. Here, see it given to Horatio.
Justice, oh, justice, gentle king.
Who is that? Hieronymo?
Justice, oh, my son, whom naught can ransom or redeem.
Hieronymo, you are not well advised. Lorenzo, hinder me no more, for thou hast made me bankrupt for brightness. Give me my son. You shall not ransom him. Away, I'll rip the bowels of the earth and ferry over to the Elysian plains and bring my son to show his deadly wounds. Stand from above me. I'll make a pickaxe of my poignard, and here surrender up my marshalship, for I'll go marshal up the fiends in hell to be avenged on you for all this.
What means this outrage? Will none of you restrain his fury?
Nay, soft and fair, you shall not need to strive. Needs must he go that the devil drives.
What accident hath happed Hieronymo? I have not seen him to demean so.
My gracious lord, he is with extreme pride conceived of young Horatio, his son, and covetous of having to himself the ransom of the young Prince Balthazar, distract, and in a manner lunatic.
Believe me, nephew, we are sorry for it. This is the love that fathers bear their sons.
I pry through every crevice of each wall, look on each tree and search through every break, beat at the bushes, stamp our grandam earth, dive in the water and stare up to heaven, yet cannot I behold my son Horatio. Oh no, who's there? Sprites? Sprites.
Dear Hieronymo, come indoors. Oh, seek not means so to increase thy sorrow.
Indeed, Isabella, I do nothing here. Not I, indeed. I am merry, very merry.
How? Be merry here? Be merry here? Is not this the place and this the very tree where my Horatio died, where he was murdered?
Oh, do not say what. Let her weep it out. This was the tree. I set it of a kernel, and when our hot Spain could not let it grow, but that the infant and the human sap began to wither, duly twice a morning would I be sprinkling it with fountain water. At last it grew, and bore, till at length it grew a gallows, and it bare our son. See who knocks there.
It is a painter, sir.
Oh, bid him come in and paint some comfort, for surely there's none lives but painted comfort.
God bless you, sir.
Wherefore? Why, thou scornful villain, how, where, and by what means should I be blessed?
What wouldst thou have, good fellow?
Justice, madam.
Oh, ambitious beggar, wouldst thou have that which lives not in the world? Why, all the undelved minds cannot buy an ounce of justice. 'Tis a jewel so inestimable. I tell thee, God hath engrossed all justice in his hands, and there is none but what comes from him.
Oh, then I see that God must right me for my murdered son.
Ah? Was thy son murdered?
Aye, sir. No man did hold a son so dear.
What, not as thine? That's a lie, as massy as the earth. I had a son, whose least unvalued hair did weigh 1,000 of thy sons, and he was murdered.
Alas, sir, I had no more but he.
Nor I. But this same one of mine was worth a legion. But all is one. Go in her doors, Isabella. Go. And this good fellow here and I will range this hideous orchard up and down. Go in her doors, I say. Come, let's talk wisely now. Was thy son murdered?
Aye, sir.
So was mine. How dost take it? Art thou not sometimes mad? Is there no tricks that come before thine eyes?
Oh, Lord, yes, sir.
Art a painter? Canst paint me a tear, or a wound, a groan, or a sigh? Canst paint me such a tree as this?
Sir, I am sure you have heard of my painting. My name's Buzzardo.
Buzzardo! For God, an excellent fellow. Look you, sir, do you see? I'd have you paint me in my gallery, in your oil colours matted, and draw me 5 years younger than I am. Do you see, sir? Let 5 years go. Let them go. Like the Marshal of Spain. My wife, Isabella, standing by me, with a speaking look to my son, Horatio, which should intend to this or some such like purpose. God bless thee, my sweet son, and my hand leaning upon his head. Thus, sir. Do you see? Can it be done?
Very well, sir.
Nay, I pray, mark me, sir. Then, sir, would I have you paint me this tree. This very tree. Canst paint a doleful cry?
Seemingly, sir.
Nay, it should cry, but all is one. Well, sir, paint me a youth, run through and through with villain swords, hanging upon this tree. Canst thou draw a murderer?
I'll warrant you, sir, I have the pattern of the most notorious villains that ever lived in all Spain.
Oh, let them be worse, worse. Stretch thine art, and let their beards be of Judas his own colour, and let their eyebrows jutty over. In any case, observe that. Then, sir, after some violent noise, bring me forth in my shirt, and my gown under mine arm, with my torch in my hand, and my sword reared up, thus, and with these words, What noise is this? Who calls Hieronymo?
May it be done?
Yes, sir.
Well, sir, then bring me forth. Bring me through alley and alley, still with distracted countenance going along, and let my hair heave up my nightcap. Let the clouds scowl. Make the moon dark, the stars extinct, the winds blowing, the bells tolling, the owl shrieking, the toads croaking, the minutes jarring, and the clock striking 12. And then at last, sir, starting, behold a man hanging and tottering. As you know, the wind will wave a man, and I, with a trice, to cut him down. And looking upon him by the advantage of my torch, find it to be my son, Horatio. There may you show a passion. There may you show a passion. Draw me like old Priam of Troy, crying, the house is afire, the house is afire! Make me curse, make me rave, make me cry, make me mad, make me well again, make me curse hell, invocate heaven, and in the end, leave me in a trance! And so forth.
And is this the end?
Oh no, there's no end. The end is death and madness. I am never better than when I am mad. Then methinks I am a brave fellow. Oh, then I do wonders. But reason abuseth me. And there's the torment. There's the hell. At the last, sir, bring me to one of the murderers. Were he as strong as Hector, thus would I tear and drag him up and down. Art thou come, Horatio, from the depth to ask for justice in this upper earth, to tell thy father thou art unrevenged, to bring more tears from Isabella's eyes, whose lights are dimmed with overlong laments? Oh, go back, my son, complain to Aeacus, for here's no justice. Gentle boy, be gone, for justice is exiled from the earth. Hieronymo will bear thee company. Thy mother cries on righteous Rhadamanth for just revenge against the murderers.
Alas, my lord, whence springs this troubled speech?
Oh, but let me look on my Horatio. Sweet boy, how art thou changed in death's black shade? Had Proserpine no pity on thy youth, but suffered thy fair, crimson-coloured spring with withered winter to be blasted thus? Horatio, thou art older than thy father. Ah, ruthless fate that favour thus transforms.
Oh, my good lord, I am not your young son.
What? Not my son?
I am a grieved man, and not a ghost, that came for justice for my murdered son.
Aye, now I know thee. Now thy name's thy son. Thy eyes are gummed with tears, thy cheeks are wan, thy forehead troubled, and thy muttering lips murmur sad words abruptly broken off. By force of windy sighs thy spirit breathes, and all this sorrow riseth for thy son, and self-same sorrow feel I for my son. Come in, old man, thou shalt to Isabel. Lean on my arm, I thee, thou me shalt stay, and thou and I and she will sing a song, 3 parts in one, but all of discords framed.
And now to meet these Portuguese. Welcome, brave Viceroy, to the court of Spain, and welcome all his honourable train.
Renowned king, I come not as thou think'st with doubtful followers, unresolved men, but such as have upon thine articles confirmed thy motion, and contented me. No, sovereign, I come to solemnize the marriage of thy beloved niece, fair Belimperia, with my Balthazar. With thee, my son, whom sith I live to see, here take my crown. I give it her and thee.
Balthazar's content, my sorrow's ease, and sovereign of my bliss, sith heaven hath ordained thee to be mine, disperse those clouds and melancholy looks, and clear them up with those thy sunbright eyes, wherein my hope and heaven's fair beauty lies.
My looks, my lord, are fitting for my love, which, new begun, can show no brighter yet.
You kindled flames should burn as morning sun.
But not too fast, lest heat and all be done. I see my lord, my father.
Truce, my love. I will go salute him.
Welcome, Balthazar. Welcome, brave prince, the pledge of Castile's peace. And welcome, Belle Imperia. How now, girl, why comest thou sadly to salute us thus? Content thyself, for I am satisfied it is not now as when Andrea lived. We have forgotten and forgiven that, and thou art graced with a happier love. But Balthazar, here comes Hieronymo. I'll have a word with him.
And where's the Duke?
Yonder.
Even so. What new device have they devised, trow? Pocas palabras, mild as a lamb. Ist I will be revenged? No, I am not the man.
Welcome, Hieronymo.
Welcome, Hieronymo.
Welcome, Hieronymo.
My lord, I thank you for Horatio.
Hieronymo, the reason that I sent to speak with you is this.
What, so short? Then I'll be gone. I thank you for it.
Nay, stay, Hieronymo. Go, call him, son.
Hieronymo, my father craves a word with you.
With me, sir? Oh, why, my lord, I thought you were done.
No.
Would he had?
Hieronymo, I hear you find yourself aggrieved at my son because you have not access unto the king, and say that 'tis he that intercepts your suits.
Why is this not a miserable thing, my lord?
Hieronymo, I hope you have no cause and would be loath that one of your deserts should once have reason to suspect my son, considering how I think of you myself.
Your son, Lorenzo, whom my noble lord, the hope of Spain, my honourable friend, grant me the combat of them if they dare.
Hieronymo, I never gave you cause.
My good lord, I know you did not.
There then pause, and for the satisfaction of the world, Hieronymo, frequent my homely house. And when thou wilt, use me, my son, and it. But here, before Prince Balthazar and me, embrace each other and be perfect friends.
I marry, my lord, and shall. Friends, quoth he. See, I'll be friends with you all, especially with you, my lovely lord.
Revenge, awake.
Awake? For why?
Awake, revenge, if love, as love hath had, have yet the power or prevalence in hell. Hieronymo with Lorenzo is joined in league, and intercepts our passage to revenge. Awake, revenge, or we are woe begone.
Content thyself, Andrea. Though I sleep, yet is my mood soliciting their souls. Nor dies revenge, although he sleep a while, for in unquiet, quietness is feigned. Behold, Andrea, and then imagine thou what 'tis to be subject to destiny.
Awake, revenge. Reveal this mystery. What makes these figures passing by our sight?
These two first the nuptial torches bear, as brightly burning as the midday's sun. But after them doth Hymen hie as fast, clothed in sable and a saffron robe, and blows them out, and quencheth them with blood, as discontent that things continue so.
Sufficeth me. Thy meaning's understood. Rest thee, for I will sit to see the rest.
Is this the love thou bearest, Horatio? Is this the kindness that thou counterfeits? Are these the fruits of thine incessant tears? Hieronymo, for shame, Hieronymo, be not a history to after times of such ingratitude unto thy son. Myself, a stranger in respect of thee, so loved his life as still I wish their deaths. For here I swear, in sight of heaven and earth, shouldst thou neglect the love thou shouldst retain, and give it over and devise no more, myself should send their hateful souls to hell, that wrought his downfall with extremest death.
May it be that Belle Imperia vows such revenge as she hath deigned to say? Why, then I see that heaven applies our drift, and all the saints do sit soliciting for vengeance on those cursed murderers. And here I vow,
so you but give consent, and will conceal my resolution. I will ere long determine of their deaths that causeless thus have murdered my son.
Hieronymo, I will consent, conceal, and aught that may effect for thine avail, join with thee to revenge Horatio's death.
On then! Whatsoever I devise, let me entreat you, grace my practices, for why the plot's already in my head. Here they are.
Now, Hieronymo, what? Courting Bellimperia?
Aye, my lord. Such courting as I promise you, she hath my heart. But you, my lord, have hers.
But now, Hieronymo, or never, we are to entreat your help.
My help? Why, my good lords, assure yourselves of me, for you have given me cause. I, by my faith, have you.
It pleased you at the entertainment of the ambassador to grace the king so much as with a show. Now, were your studies so well furnished as for the passing of the first night's sport, to entertain my father with the like, or any such like pleasing motion, assure yourself it would content them well.
Is this all?
Aye, this is all.
Why, then, I'll fit you.
And how for that?
Marry, my good lord, thus. When in Toledo there I studied, it was my chance to write a tragedy. See here, my lords, which long forgot I found this other day. Now, would your lordships favour me so much as but to grace me with your acting it?
What, would you have us play a tragedy?
Why, Nero thought it no disparagement, and kings and emperors obtain delight to make experience of their wits in plays.
Nay, be not angry, good Hieronymo. The prince but asked a question.
In faith, Hieronymo, and you be in earnest, I'll make one.
And I another.
Now, my good lord, could you entreat your sister, Bellimperia, to make one? For what's a play without a woman in it?
Little entreaty shall serve me, Hieronymo, for I must needs be employed in your play.
And now you will but let us know the argument.
That shall I roundly. The Chronicles of Spain record this, written of a knight of Rhodes. He was betrothed and wedded at the length to one Persida, an Italian dame whose beauty ravished all that her beheld, especially the soul of Soliman, who at the marriage was the chiefest guest. By sundry means sought Soliman to win Persida's love, and could not gain the same. Then gan he break his passions to a friend, one of his bashaws, whom he held full dear. He saw she was not otherwise to be won but by her husband's death, this knight of Rhodes, whom presently by treachery he slew. She stirred with an exceeding hate, therefore, as cause of this, slew Solomon, and to escape the bashaw's tyranny, did stab herself. And this the tragedy.
Oh, excellent.
But say, Hieronymo, what then became of him that was the bashaw?
Mary, thus, moved with remorse of his misdeeds, ran to a mountain top and hung himself.
But which of us is to perform that part?
Oh, that will I, my lords, make no doubt of it. I'll play the murderer, I warrant you, for I already have conceited that.
And what shall I?
Great Soliman, the Turkish emperor.
And I?
Erastus, the knight of Rhodes.
And I?
Persida, chaste and resolute. And here, my lords, are several abstracts drawn for each of you to note your parts and act it as occasions offered you.
Tell me no more! Oh, monstrous homicides! Since neither piety nor pity moves the king to justice or compassion, I will revenge myself upon this place where thus they murdered my beloved son. Down with these branches and these loathsome boughs of this unfortunate and fatal pine. Down with them, Isabella. Rent them up and burn the roots from whence the rest is sprung. I will not leave a root, a stalk, a tree, a bough, a branch, a blossom, nor a leaf, no, not an herb within this garden plot. Accursed complot of my misery. Fruitless forever may this garden be, barren the earth, and blissless Whosoever imagines not to keep it unmanured, an eastern wind commixed with noisome airs shall blast the plants and the young saplings. The earth with serpents shall be pestered, and passengers, for fear to be infect, shall stand aloof and looking at it tell, there, murdered, died the son of Isabel. Aye, here he died, and here I him embrace. See where his ghost solicits with his wounds revenge on her that should revenge his death. Hieronymo, make haste to see thy son. Make haste, Hieronymo, to hold excuse thy negligence in pursuit of their deaths, whose hateful wrath bereaved him of his breath. Ah, nay, thou dost delay their deaths, forgives the murderers of thy noble son, and none but I bestir me to no end. And as I curse this tree from further fruit, so shall my womb be cursed for his sake. And with this weapon will I wound the breast, the hapless breast that gave Horatio suck.
Well, are you ready, Balthazar? Bring a chair and a cushion for the king. Here. Ah, well done, Balthazar. Hang up the title. Our scene is Rhodes. What is your beard on?
Half on, the other is in my hat.
Dispatch, for shame, are you so long? Bethink thyself, Hieronymo. Recall thy wits. Recount the former wrongs thou hast received by murder of thy son. And lastly, not least, how Isabel, once his mother and thy dearest wife, all woe begone for him, hath slain herself. Behoves thee then, Hieronymo, to be revenged. The plot is laid of dire revenge. On then, Hieronymo, pursue revenge, for nothing wants but acting of revenge.
Now, Viceroy, shall we see the tragedy of Solomon, the Turkish emperor, performed of pleasure by your son, the prince, my nephew Don Lorenzo, and my niece.
Who? Belimperia?
Aye, and Hieronymo, our marshal, at whose request they deign to do't themselves. These be our pastimes in the court of Spain.
Bashor, that Rhodes is ours, yield heavens the honour. And be thou graced with every excellence that Solomon can give or thou desire. But thy desert in conquering Rhodes is less than in reserving this fair Christian nymph, Persida, blissful lamp of excellence, whose eyes compel, like powerful adamant, the warlike heart of Solomon to wait.
See, Viceroy, that is Balthazar, your son, that represents the Emperor Solomon. How well he acts his amorous passion.
Belimperia hath taught him that.
Whatever joy earth yields, betide your majesty.
Earth yields no joy without Persida's love.
Then let Persida on your grace attend.
She shall not wait on me, but I on her. But let my friend, the Rhodian knight, come forth, Erasto, dearer than my life to me, that he may see Persida, my beloved.
Here comes Lorenzo. Look upon the plot and tell me, brother, what part he plays.
Ah, my Erasto, welcome to Persida.
Thrice happy is Erasto that thou liv'st. Rhodes' loss is nothing to Erasto's joy. Sith his Persida lives, his life survives.
Ah, Bashor, here is love between Erasto and fair Persida, sovereign of my soul.
Remove Erasto, mighty Solomon, and then Persida will be quickly won.
Erasto is my friend, And while he lives, Persida never will remove her love.
Let not Erasto live to grieve great Soliman.
Dear is Erasto in our princely eye.
But if he be your rival, let him die.
Why, let him die, so love commandeth me. Yet grieve I that Erasto should so die.
Erasto, Soliman saluteth thee, and lets thee wit by me his highness will, which is thou shouldst be thus employed.
Erasto! See Solomon! Erasto slain!
Yet liveth Solomon to comfort thee. Fair queen of beauty, let not favour die, but with a gracious eye behold his grief, that with Persida's beauty is increased, if by Persida his grief be not released.
Tyrant, desist soliciting vain suits. Relentless are mine ears to thy laments, as thy butcher is pitiless and base, which seized on my Erasto, harmless knight. Yet by thy power thou thinkest to command, and to thy power Persida doth obey. But were she able, thus she would revenge thy treacheries on thee, ignoble prince. And on herself she would be thus revenged.
Well done. Well said. Old Marshal, this was bravely done.
But Bel Imperia plays Persida well.
Well, this in earnest, Bel Imperia. You would be better to my son than so.
But now what follows for Hieronymo?
Marry, this follows for Hieronymo. Haply you think, but bootless are your thoughts, that this is fabulously counterfeit, and that we do as all tragedians do. To die today for fashioning our scene, and in a minute starting up again, revive to please tomorrow's audience. No, princes. No, I am Hieronymo, the hopeless father of a hapless son, whose tongue is tuned to tell his latest tale, not to excuse gross errors in the play. I see your looks urge instance of these words. Behold the reason urging me to this. See here my show. Look on this spectacle. Here lies the body of my murdered son. Here lay my hope, and here my hope hath end. Here lay my heart, and here my heart was slain. Here lay my treasure, here my treasure lost. Here lay my bliss, and here my bliss bereft. But hope, heart, treasure, joy, and bliss, all fled, failed, died, yea, all decayed with this. From forth these wounds came breath that gave me life. They murdered me that made these fatal marks. The cause was love, whence grew this mortal hate. The hate, Lorenzo and young Balthazar. The love, my son, to Bel Imperia. Then, merciless, they butchered up my boy. In black, dark night, the pale, dim, cruel death, he shrieks. I heard, and yet methinks I hear, his dismal outcry echo in the air. With sooner speed I hastened to the noise, where hanging on a tree I found my son, through girt with wounds, and slaughtered as you see. And grieved I, think you, at this spectacle. Speak, Portuguese, whose loss resembles mine. If thou canst weep upon thy Balthazar, 'tis like I wailed for my Horatio. And you, my lord, whose reconciled son marched in a net and thought himself unseen, and rated me for brain-sick lunacy with God amend, that mad Hieronymo, how can you brook our play's catastrophe? And here, behold, this bloody handkerchief, which at Horatio's death I weeping dipped within the river of his bleeding wounds. It, as propitious, see, I have reserved, and never hath it left my bloody heart, soliciting remembrance of my vow with these, oh these, accursed murderers, which now performed, my heart is satisfied. And princes, now behold Hieronymo, author and actor in this tragedy, bearing his latest fortune in his fist.
who will as resolute conclude his part as any of the actors gone before. And, gentles, thus I end my play. Words, no more words. I have no more words to say.
Oh, Hieronymo!
Brother,
find everyone that son of Break up the door! Run, save Hieronymo!
Accursed wretch! Why starest thou him that was resolved to die?
Speak, traitor! Damn it, bloody murderer, speak! For now I have thee. I will make thee speak. Why hast thou done this undeserving deed?
Why hast thou murdered my Balthazar?
Why hast thou butchered both my children thus?
I tell thee, Viceroy, this day I have seen revenge. And in that sight I am grown a prouder monarch than ever sat under the crown of Spain. Had I as many lives as there be stars, as many heavens to go to as those lives, I'd give them all, aye, and my soul to boot. But I would see thee ride in this red pole.
Speak! Who were thy confederates in this?
That was thy daughter, Belle Imperia, for by her hand my Balthazar was slain. I saw her stab him.
Oh, good words! As dear to me was my Horatio as yours, or yours, my lord, to you. Methinks, since I grew inward with revenge, I cannot look with scorn enough on death.
What, dost thou mock our slave? Bring tortures forth!
Do! And meantime I'll torture you. You had a son, as I take it, and your son should have been married to your daughter. Was not so?
It was.
You had a son, too. He was my liege's nephew. He was proud and politic. Had he lived, he might have come to wear the crown of Spain. I think 'twas so.
It was.
'Twas I that killed him. Look you, this same hand. 'Twas it that stabbed his heart. Do you see? This hand. For one Horatio, if you ever knew him, a youth. One that they hanged up in his father's garden. One that did force your valiant son to yield, while your more valiant son did take him prisoner.
Deaf my senses, I can hear no more.
Call heaven and cover us with thy sad ruins.
Roll all the world within thy pitchy cloud.
Now do I applaud what I have acted. Now to express the rupture of my part. First take my tongue, and afterward my heart.
Oh, monstrous resolution of a wretch. See, Viceroy, he hath bitten forth his tongue, rather than to reveal what we required.
Yet he can write.
And if in this he satisfy us not, we will devise the extremest kind of death that ever was invented for a wretch.
Oh, he would have a knife to mend his pen.
Here, and advise thee that thou write the troth.
Look to my brother! Save Hieronymo!
Aye, now my hopes have end in their effects, when blood and sorrow finish my desires. The Duke of Castile and his wicked son, both done to death by old Hieronymo, and good Hieronymo slain by himself. Now will I beg at lovely Proserpine, that by the virtue of her princely doom I may consort my friends in pleasing sort, and on my foes work just and sharp revenge. But say revenge, for thou must help or none. Against the rest, how shall my hate be shown?
This hand shall hale them down to deepest hell, where none but furies, bugs, and tortures dwell.
Then, sweet revenge, do this at my request. Let me be judge and doom them to unrest.
Then haste we down to meet thy friends and foes, to place thy friends in ease, the rest in woes. For here, though death hath end their misery, I'll there begin their endless tragedy.
In the Spanish tragedy by Thomas Kyd, Hieronymo was played by Oliver Cotton, Lorenzo was Jonathan Cullen, Belle Imperia Hilary Lyon, Balthazar Andrew Wincott, and Isabel Kristin Millward. Nicholas Bolton played Horatio, the boy with the box, and the Viceroy.
Derek Waring, the king, and in Masters, Pedrigano and the painter. Andrea and Cerberine were played by David Bannerman, Revenge, Castile and the Hangman by Don McCorkindale. The play was directed by Alan Drury.